Varus, Zeri still there as well. As we hit on Zeri, Lulu, still a very potent combination. For JDG, they haven't played the Lucian even once this split, so that's not something I really expect to go on through. It is going to be an AD carry. It's going to come down to preference, but I think the Varus lock-in would be nice if, like we said, a lot of this is going to come down to having strong laning phases, really being what's dictated success for both these teams. Varus is going to give you that in spades.
Yeah, absolutely. And also control for dragons in the early game, right? Varus being able to just chunk people out before the dragon fight ever starts and can often net you those early objectives. But it looks like could be a Lucian Nami as the response here from top esports. But you could also go for a jungler here. You know that your Lucian won't be contested. But it looks like they might just go for the duo.
With both Maokai and Sejuani off the table, we're moving into, Elise, still a very contested pick if you want to look at those more AD solo lane options, things like the Yone that you were highlighting earlier, Jace. So I don't know if JDG would consider an Elise Jace rotation. It is something I believe they've done once so far this split and going towards that on like a blue side 2-3. But no, top esports, I think realizing that that's a possibility, they just want to deny the Elise altogether.
Yeah, taking the Elise for Tian, so very aggressive early game jungler there, and setting up for a very aggressive early game bottom side as well. So this could be a very high-paced composition from the side of top esports, whereas for JDG, looking to fulfill their bottom lane, could go for a jungler themselves as well for Kanavi. There's still a reasonable amount of high-priority junglers on the table. Things like the Wukong, for example, still very much on the
I know it was only a hover, but like Blabber did play the Rengar into this matchup, having that empowered W available to that. So, realizing something like that is possible. But maybe even just looking, this will be a flex if this is locked in. Like, it being JDG, you'd expect it to go up towards 369, but we've been seeing it played more in jungle across the world. Of course, after Faker playing it a couple games in mid lane in the LCK, it's something you've been seeing a lot more people play in mid and solo queue. So, got to keep in mind, Gragas is a flex, but with 369 on the roster, it really, in my mind, it just feels like it is such a 369 champion that it always most likely will end up there.
Yeah, JackeyLove and Mark having flashbacks to 369 and Carson quarreling about the Gragas. I will say as well, if there's any mid laner that would be willing to bring a flex like that out, Knight would be the guy. I mean, I think the first 8 or 9 games this split, he played a different champion every single game. Absolutely insane stuff from him. But looking towards that mid lane, we do have a Yone ban coming out, so we don't get to see that flashy champion that I was in.
And so that to me shows they're also theorizing of like, they're putting respect on the fact that Gragas can go into the jungle. Kanavi's played it twice this split, denying some of these like insane AD heavy mid laners. With Jace and Yone gone, those really are the two that stand out. Knight has also played a game of Lee Sin. Lee Sin, we hit on early in the day, has received some buffs, so we've been seeing it more heavily in the jungle in the last few days of LPL, but is something that can come out in mid. You, again, like Munchables' highlight, you really can't just count anything out when it comes to Knight. So top esports may be looking towards mid next rotation, though.
Also, just on the note of Lee Sin as well, I mean, Kanavi's Lee Sin is insane. Like, nobody thinks about Kanavi for his Lee Sin, but I remember that one split. Dagda was a huge proponent that Kanavi at the time was the best Lee Sin in the world.
He was insane.
His mechanics were just off the charts.
Well,
so
it was crazy because 2020 didn't, wasn't meta, didn't really touch it even when other LPL junglers would. Then 2021, which I believe was the slow split for JDG, they would only win when Kanavi would get his hands on Elise.
Yeah, it was something to behold. So very flexible squad for JDG as the Tristana banned away in the end.
I will say a bit rougher, I think, into the Elise to go for that one, but Sion going to come out now for QingTian, so realizing, hey, we want to have him on something stable with, honestly, just how well of a split 369 has had so far, but this is where we're going to find out where this Gragas is going.
We keep forgetting about Annie. Annie keeps on sneaking through these drafts. That could be mid. I mean, it can't be support, right? We've got a Nautilus.
It is one of the things, though, where we've been on 13.1 so long, just being thrown into the depths.
Yeah.
On 13.3. Yeah, these things happen. Gets locked in. You know this is already going to end up going towards the mid lane, which means it's 369's Gragas on top side, and you need an AD jungler. Right now, they are looking at the Lee Sin. Vi was another thing that was highlighted, which also I think would be work well into the Lucian. I like more of them, again, bringing this kind of chain CC, bringing the lockdown to make sure that JackeyLove can't take over. but it's fine. We get to see if the carry performances can still live on.
I love it. This is the first Lucian we see from Kanavi this split, but we all know that it is something magnificent to see. They are hovering the ASOL. I'm pretty sure ASOL's still currently disabled in the LPL.
Almost, and if it wasn't, we've been misled.
Yeah, as far as I know, ASOL can't be locked in right now. It's the Azir comes out for Rookie in the end to try and neutralize this mid lane. Play at range against this Annie, because the second you're in range of a flash Tibbers, you might just die.
And I'm really interested to see how this one goes. I've been trying to figure out and like follow like what teams are going to start playing into Annie. I think it was FlyQuest who played the Swain into it, and like that worked out pretty well. So I'm kind of curious to see how counters develop. Of course, Azir is just an all-around kind of champion that feels like you can land into pretty much anything. You're going to do fine. You have a lot of range to play with. You have the ability to push with your soldiers. And for TS, their game plan is just laid out for all of us, right? Player on bot side.
Best of fives, go the distance every single time. And we'll see how they're going to do here in the 2023 spring regular season. It's time to get this one underway. And straight off the bat, JDG with level 1 action. JackeyLove in trouble. The anchor comes out. And here's Knight with a stun as well. The Pyromania buffs are there. And JD Gaming kick it off in style.
What a disastrous start for top esports. JackeyLove not even considering it a possibility. In the kill, also going over to one of the worst people, going over to Knight to make sure he can try and find an advantage in the mid lane. Huge for JDG.
Knight in his first game against his old organization, the organization that built their entire team around him, gets first blood within the first 60 seconds of the game.
And now we get to see how he uses this into this mid lane matchup. Azir versus Annie, one I'm not all too familiar with, but you'd assume, right? Azir should have some pressure early on with the soldiers. Again, Annie's auto attack range is pretty high, so trading shouldn't be too bad, but it's really that level 6 mark when Tibbers comes out, and like there is a lot of just burst potential there for Knight that I'm interested to see, because two of the best mid laners who have ever played in the LPL going toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
Something that will have dramatic effects on the rest of the map.
Yeah, a bit of early trading in the bottom side there as well. I do want to talk about the jungle matchup as well, especially in this early game, because it's Lucian versus Elise, like both big, high-powered junglers in the early game. But you said earlier during the draft that Lucian not necessarily the pick that you wanted to.
Well, it's like you have the Spiderlings, right? So you always could use the Spiderlings to dodge out on the Sonic Wave coming in, which is a large part of where Lee Sin's damage, pretty much the largest part of where his damage is when you're looking for those early, like, all-in opportunities. Is we need to pause.
Oh, no, not again. JackeyLove solo, ignited, but Mark, the target for the time being is missing. Backs away again, and this is what we were talking about. The 2v2 from Ruler and missing is just maybe the best in the entire league.
Yes, so their CSD 15 average is plus 19. By far the highest in the league. JackeyLove's is pretty much neutral at 0. Like, on average, you're dominating people by 20 CS, but Tian knows how aggressively they play, and he wants to punish.
Don't lose the 2v2 if you never play the 2v2. That's top esports motto as Tian walks in, gets hooked up by the anchor, missing the target, flashes away. Oh, JackeyLove clicked on the wrong target, missing, might just walk, but no, Tian grabs it. Ruler wants to trade it back, but he won't be able to.
We're going to see a lot of attention put towards bot side from both junglers. Tian finds it first, knowing they have a bot lane that wants to get ahead, and kind of stemming some of the bleeding, because Ruler was coming out to starting to find a pretty nice CS advantage and slowly whittling JackeyLove down as he got that wave in. But now Tian finding something back.
And you can see the Chinese side focusing on exactly what we were focusing on earlier. 12 solo kills for QingTian, 10 solo kills for 369 up in that top side. I will say, Gragas versus Sion, probably not a solo kill matchup.
No, and we're going to see here what happens on the opposite side of the map. His pulse does come through, they follow up with the ignite, and yeah, JackeyLove going under Ruler instead of missing. They're luckily still able to get it to the end with one nice auto from Tian. And now, I mean, we're all tied up in terms of kills. Can't pick that one up. So at least we'll have more of like.
Oh, Mark's in big trouble. He'll use preemptively there. JackeyLove jumps straight onto Ruler. Try and force a flash out. Very nicely done there. What looked like a great 2v2 for JDG, but it's actually top esports that get the summoner advantage.
I love this. I love that we're getting this both bot lanes trying to one up the other. constant action happening, but Tian doesn't want to be outdone by the bot lanes.
No.
He's trying to keep up the same amount of pressure himself, looking for it. Again, he's on the Elise, something that has a lot of tools to close space, to have CC in your cocoon, to look for these early ganks and early dives.
Was spotted as he went for the control ward. A million pings went down, so he didn't find a way into that mid lane for the time being. But I'm loving the pace of this game. I'm loving that both junglers on these early aggressive picks trying to be proactive. And it's so much focus on that bottom lane. Worth mentioning as well that Ruler going for that lethality Varus. So this is not a build for the late game and go on him. This is, he wants to do damage early. He wants to be a part of these scraps.
I think it makes sense. JDG's composition is very burst oriented, and it seems they're just going to live and die by that route. You're also going up against an Azir, which could be more annoying to try to DPS later on. Even Sion, like buying space, going that on hit round. So I like what JDG are thinking about if they're able to execute, because now they're looking for Dragon, but it looks like TS don't want to give this one up for free.
Tian is here, but I don't know if they can really contest. Both mid laners still in the mid lane at night with heavy priority there. Looks like Tian going to be too late to try and contest this one. They might be able to stop JD Gaming getting back into this bottom lane though, and perhaps deny a lot of CS this way. Are we just going to get a 3v3 for the sake of a 3v3? Infinite posturing. But JDG decide they have to back away. JackeyLove just denying as much CS.
I mean, you look at Tian's jungle camps, there's really none up other than Krug, so this isn't even a huge waste of time for him. Not much else to do on the map, just help deny CS in that bot side to build a lead for JackeyLove. Great use of their time by Top Esports.
And it's a hell of a lead that he's got for himself. 10 CS at the moment. Obviously, there are a few there for Ruler to sweep up. And it's a similar lead up on the top side in favor of 369.
I believe I counted about 7, so it will still be relatively equal. But again, from when Ruler was the one starting to manifest the lead earlier on, any kind of small leads you can find yourself will be quite nice. You did hit on, though, lead top side, but...
Tian does not want to leave this jungle. He wants to make something happen. Knight getting close, but Tian... I don't know if he was actually spotted there or not.
And remember, there's an opportunity cost to everything Tian's doing. Like, Kanavi about to hit level 5. There's been a lot of criticism for jungle over this split, and over the past few years, I think barely so, about how it just feels like you gain so much more from ganking than you do from farming. Is you can see from that one crab, actually Tian's not that far behind his experience.
Ruler's in trouble, the flash forward to the cocoon, followed by a bubble onto missing here, the damage is there, no misclicks this time, JackeyLove with a kill.
We said the names on paper don't stack up to the opposite side, but Mark going to get that one going with the flash bubble.
Oh, here we go, Knight with the all into the mid lane, Rookie's in trouble, but will walk under his tower. Knight just forces him home, but TP on cooldown, so Knight should be able to deny a good amount of CS here.
Going to be able to hopefully start finding an advantage for himself. One thing we need to keep an eye out for, though, is Rift Herald will be up in 30 seconds. JDG having the team able to maintain pressure on top side, which theoretically maybe opens them up for a bit of an easier time looking for that one. But if TS can keep the flow of their bot lane, you know, having the push, maybe leaning Tian down there again, and be able to bring Mark up, that could be the difference maker.
Tibbers just vibing.
Tibbers
just vibing. Rookie trying to get some vision here, and
again,
Knight just holding his weight, denying as much CS as possible.
I just want to highlight Tibbers. I mean, having a great time. Tibbers gained buffs on this patch.
Yeah.
Like, one of the reasons Annie's coming in, like, again, Annie received multiple buffs. Her passive now being recharged at the start of the game, and anytime you come up from base, your shield just gaining, like, more damage, better cooldown.
Crucially as well, spells now proc on the shield as well.
Yes.
So I think one of the most important buffs for specifically mid lane Annie is the fact that you essentially have magic thornmail, I guess is one way to say it.
I think, you know, a good way to describe it is we actually do get to see the Rift Herald coming out. It is going to come down to the fact that JDG had that top side pressure, and TS not even looking to contest. It looks like they're actually trying to set up a pick around mid lane right now.
Missing has been spotted. Mark not afraid of him, and the dredge line does go through, but here's Rookie to set up a play. Missing fumbles his flash. Still a lot of HP to work with. There ain't much damage here, but Missing finally goes down. Tian to finish the job once again. 2-0 and 1. As Knight wants to respond, but not a whole lot he can do about it. Top Esports. I'm loving the pacing here from them.
Nice response. Utilizing the time where JDG are going for the Herald to at least make something happen. Is it going to manifest into any type of huge lead anywhere on the map? Will make it a little bit risky for Ruler right now to be able to walk up to that wave, which maybe could increment into a few more CS for the side of JackeyLove. But yeah, Top Esports, they're really trying to just slam their foot on the gas pedal from how much we've seen Tian looking for.
Yeah, and rightly so. Is missing, almost getting out of this one as well. Had his flash been better, perhaps he could have escaped. But great chain there to stop him flashing over into the red buff.
Yeah, I don't even, you know, like where else would you even flash that would be better? He tries to flash his way so Knight can buy some space. And his Q had just come up on cooldown, off cooldown, but sadly, again, had he been a little bit more healthy, maybe he could have managed to get out of there.
Yeah, perhaps. Oh, 369 knocks QingTian away from his tower here. That is a Sion, though. And, well, I mean, that's about as exciting as this matchup gets in the top lane.
And luckily for 369, I mean, you know, teleports still aren't unleashed yet, so you're not really going to be involved in a fight elsewhere. Your ultimate isn't something you necessarily need to be thinking, oh my god, I need to keep this off cooldown because this fight's going to happen. You're just going to be locked in this 1v1, trying to get these plays. The Dragon is coming up right now.
Yeah, 369 struggling from the anti-synergy of Barmy, Cinder, and Demolish. As he wants to try and proc the Demolish, but doesn't want to tank the tower. Did manage to get one play for himself there. His health comes down to the mid lane. Knight should be able to just walk this one in.
But here's what I'm keeping my eyes on. How much can JackeyLove chunk Ruler out? Because he's doing a nice bit of damage. Because this might be the difference maker in turning this into a Drake. Kanavi's already started it up. Knight's moving down.
Ruler low on HP. Rookie is not here. Rookie's still in the mid lane for the time being. And he is going to start to move over. Missing in a bubble once again. JackeyLove, big damage. Tian with his hat trick already in this game. Kanavi tanking the Cloud Drake this whole time. Means he's low on HP. But Rookie's got no mana to talk about whatsoever. Kanavi with a kick. But everybody's here from Top Esports. Knight stuck in the back of the pit, has his flash available. This QingTian trying to burn him down, but he's kind of been abandoned by his team. Now the rest are top. Re-engage the fight. Kanavi in the pit, taken down by Rookie. 369 will have to flash surely to keep himself alive. Drake taken, and another fight for Top Esports.
Huge by Top Esports, starting off with Mark. They're able to turn that into a few kills. They're able to cement themselves a Dragon. And JDG, I mean, look at that fight they were trying to play off. They were trying to play off outplays. They were trying to play off these small margins, which against a lot of teams, that will work. Against a team that is similar skill to you, like TS, it's going to lead us to a point where TS are the ones finding all the kills. Gale Force already picked up by the Lucian. Keep that in mind, but it's here. Waiting in the brush, knowing Missing has to be the one to come to clear out this vision. Bubble into the cocoon. He has nowhere left to go. And then it's sad. JDG clearly still want to fight this. A lot of abilities used up. Rookie goes in. He has no mana. Isn't really in much harm, though, with like how low some of the members of JDG are and like what champions they still have left open. But you can see them still opting into wanting to get this fight or at least hope for a steal. But so many healthy members. Ruler can't safely even walk around the pit. So, yeah, it feels a little bit overzealous.
And this time, Rookie's got the mana for his ultimate, and Knight will be the receiving end of that. TS, 4 kills on this Elise in the early game. That is terrifying.
Huge on the Elise. Gold still very even because of the 40 CS. Oh, Kanavi.
He's okay, he's okay. Oh, is he okay? The Cullen comes out with the Gale Force for the kick through the enemy team. TS,
so close.
Wide on the cocoon.
Continuing to try to force action. Just to highlight real quick again, 369, huge CS lead is kind of offsetting what should be a bigger gold lead for TS off of the kills they found, but I love it. It isn't stopping their momentum. They're still constantly looking for it and even maintaining a lot of vision in the bot side river because they know that's where all the action is. They even just got some deep wards placed around Raptor Pit to potentially even set up 4 more ganks around bot side after Tian takes his red buff and starts making his way down.
Yeah, and worth mentioning that a lot of people, I think, coming into today believing JDG are the on-paper favorite, right? But one thing that maybe has heralded a different result is when you look at EDG's match history. I'm going to hold that thought as QingTian does get knocked back again. He's signed, he's going to be fine. Or is he? Knight Kanavi moving up to the top side here. Tib is available. But there we go. He's going to scream cowards as he runs in the other direction.
Hey, QingTian, he knows he's doing his job. You can see now with where Tian is. It's all about the bot lane for the side of TS. But 369 actually having the most gold in the game. But, I mean, right, he's on an island for the side of JDG. Like, everyone else is under their counterparts coming out from TES.
Rookie's looking for a chance here, but spotted on a ward. Mark has the sweeper to be able to clear that. But I want to quickly mention the EDG point. EDG 2-0ing JDG in the previous week of LPL, whereas Top Esports managed to beat them 2-1. Perhaps a herald of recency here for the two teams, as Top Esports do feel like the ones that are approaching this one best. And that Sion certainly will help them as we get later on into the game as well. Kanavi's caught. It's a huge pickup here, but actually turn around onto JackeyLove. Low on HP, Ruler finishes it off with a beautiful little Q. But Rookie's here to try and find a little bit more. Mark alongside him, and Tian certainly has the damage to finish a kill. It's not going to happen for now, but perhaps a chance to siege onto this mid lane tower.
They're sieging mid, but look at the side lanes. JDG have full control over top and bot. I think they'll be able to get top lane turret off this push. So even though it ends up being a 1-for-1 and Top Esports pushing waves mid, it seems like JDG are actually the ones who come up slightly ahead in terms of this isolated play.
Yeah, and I mean, the macro has been one of the things that has set JDG apart.
Not here.
That said, 369 not aware of the situation, not realizing that he's stepped way too far out of position. A great cocoon from Tian, and now should be able to repel wherever 369 goes. Dodges away from the ultimate. Beautifully done. Forced to flash now. 369 will walk away with his life. He is a tanky boy.
He's just too tanky with Tian. I think Tian should be sitting on a little bit of gold as well. He hasn't even finished off his first item just yet. And I mean, the fact that JDG are the ones who get to turn this into a herald is a little bit perplexing. Look at mid lane. Mark and JackeyLove are here. They would need to stall the buy time for Rookie, but Knight's nowhere close either.
Yeah, I feel like both mid laners a long way away from the play currently, but QingTian not here either. But it looks like JDG conceding this one, realizing that in terms of carries, they're not on the same page.
This makes more sense to me. You're the ones who just forced the play top. Like, you should be the ones getting the herald, not the opposite way around. So they're going to be able to get this. Will make it easier to, if they want to look for another like potential push down mid or start trying to break open these side lanes themselves, because mid might actually be the easiest one to break down without having to commit that herald. But now we're going to be looking at Dragon. Both teams already stacked up in this mid lane. 369 has TP, QingTian doesn't, which is why we start to see him move down first.
Drake is up onto the map. QingTian moving on over. Rookie looking for a pickup tonight, but won't find it. And I love these two compositions because it means these fights are so much down to execution. Elise and Lucian, both opportunities to make plays if you can make it happen. Both mid laners, massive team fight turning ultimates if they can find their moment. Top Esports, though, uncontested here, will get themselves a second Drake. That's a Mount Drake. And remember, there's a Sion in that top lane. Every Mount Drake counts.
I want to point out why JDG didn't feel comfortable. Because we've seen multiple times where they've tried to walk in and contest vision, and they're walking into Annie Bubble plus Elise. You look at bot side River, it is all Top Esports. So JDG, that's why they didn't go for the play. Doesn't mean Knight won't go for the play under Rookie here.
The 1v1 is a level down, though. Not quite stacked up on that Rod of Ages, and decides now is not the moment to try and find the play. Doesn't have the damage to just 100 to 0 the guy. It's Ruler trying to pressure in the mid lane. And this is the point where JackeyLove has to dodge everything. Ruler, a fair bit of lethality now, but a flank with a TP coming on through. JDG have got to back away, surely. Here comes QingTian, forcing the flashes. The tidal wave will protect the top laner.
Gets flashed from missing. That was the only one that had to go down. Ruler popping his Ghost Blade to try to get out of there. They do manage to escape. And it's just so tense, Munch. It is so close between these two teams. Gold! Exactly even. Still have Herald in pocket for Tian. Curious to see where he wants to use it because Top Esports haven't been able to generate pressure on sides, which means they actually might even just be forced to use it mid. Looks like Tian is going to come bot now, which I do like more. I hit on earlier, mid should be the easiest one to break down because of how low it is, but if you want to break down sides, you do need to commit multiple members to be able to do so.
And especially with the fact that you've already got 2 Drakes for yourselves, getting this bottom lane tower will help continue to stack those Drakes up as well. So could be the decision, but Tian moves back to the mid lane. We'll just drop it there, looking for Ruler here. Culling doing a good bit of damage, but just going to have to back away. Herald will finish this tower, but the tower, as you say, it was so low anyway, it doesn't feel that valuable.
Yeah, I guess just the amount of pressure that JDG are keeping up at mid at all times, making it hard to do so without. And now both teams, once again, 5 members postured around the mid lane. Both AD carries and mid laners have flash.
This is literally just an A-ramp at this point, as JDG managed to pressure on and finish the tower.
Much.
Yeah.
We got Knight and 369 going up against former teammates.
And, you know, this is just one of those matchups that is never not good.
No.
Like, even though Top Esports have had a tremendous early game, they've had so much pressure, they're actually behind in gold, almost 1,000 in favor of JDG currently. And Rookie and Tian now receiving pressure towards the bottom side. It feels like everywhere a player goes, there's an alternate member marking them. It feels like when you're watching football, you've got pairs of players as they're marking each other. That's exactly how this map feels.
Yeah, I think so far JDG have been doing a good job of like keeping pressure up in a side lane with 369, but consistently roaming him over and trying to use those long intervals to force aggression or look for potential plays with how long it takes for QingTian to, try and answer their wave insides. Top Esports have been doing nice of keeping their core unit together, but with JDG just constantly rotating between sides, you can see 369 doing it now, it's meaning there isn't as many opportunities for Tian to find those picks as there were before, which is why we're seeing kills kind of slow down for TES.
Yeah, feels difficult for them to... I mean, the thing about Elise as well is extended laning phases are really nice because you're so good at ganking people in the lanes. When everyone's clustered up like this, you can't just find those picks, but perhaps Rookie can 369. What a belly bomb! And here comes Kanavi! The mechanics are insane, but Kanavi's in a 1v3 on the backside. He's taken down. I don't know how Top won that one, but here comes QingTian to turn it into more. Rule of the target. There's the knockup. Denies QingTian finding the Varus.
That's 2 flashes from JDG down. Kanavi also dead. And now, are they going to look for it? We can see pings going up towards the Baron. No jungle. Flash is down. You still have some CC to work with, even though you don't have any more kills.
This feels really dangerous for Top Esports. JDG, not a team to be underestimated. Knight has Tibbers available, has that stun available, moves into the pit, gets the stun down. 2K on the Baron right now. This is Tian looking for the smite here. Baron taken, but at what cost? Knight in the back of the pit, taken down himself. Then Top Esports, they trade evenly, and they get the Baron.
I think Tian ended up dodging the anti-stun with the repel, so he's able to come back down and secure for TES. That is huge. JDG might have been able to get a kill, but 1-for-1, Baron, like, you're taking that every day of the week for Top Esports.
Kanavi thinks he's alone. Tian is waiting in that brush. I don't think Kanavi's going to walk into him, though. And there we go. Sonic Wave spots out the enemy player. Dragon is on the map at Top Esports. They would love to grab this one, but JDG don't want to let it go.
JDG, I mean, you got to use the fact that you have Baron, right? You're able to Baron up your minions and get that push going. They're still waiting for JackeyLove. On the opposite side, Knight, still not here, but Knight does have TP. So if any action breaks out, he will be able to get involved in the fray. Also, now having stopwatch.
369 trying to get himself into a flank position in advance of a play, but Top Esports, they call the bluff of JDG. They just say, you know what? We're not too worried about the Dragon. And TP from 369 flanking on the other side now, and Top Esports go, okay, you're over there. We'll go over to the Dragon instead.
Kanavi going to try and find it, but Rookie having a ton of mobility on these here. Keep your eyes on 80 carries. No flashes. Pretty much no flashes across the board. This could mean more for people like Ruler on the Varus.
It's so tense. QingTian pulled in, but he's so tanky on that front line. JackeyLove knocked up. Knight there behind enemy lines. JackeyLove taken down. Assassination as Rookie locked up by missing as well. Dashes to his teammate, but Kanavi onto the backside himself trying to finish off Mark. Tian there to protect his mid laner and support. And it's absolute carnage on the rift here, but Top Esports have found 2. And QingTian wants another. Knight survives, barely. It's absolute chaos.
2-for-1, Knight taken extremely low, but remember, Knight has the TP. So Knight can recall, he can join back in the fight, and this should turn into a dragon for JDG. JDG still trying to threaten with the amount of range they have available with Azir and Elise, but there it is. TP comes out. Top Esports realize they really can't even look to threaten this possibility, and it will turn into a dragon for the side of JD Gaming.
These fights are so insanely close. Everything down to tiny little mechanical plays.
Yeah, and like, look at JackeyLove going so aggressively forward with the calling. It opens him up to missing, being able to land the ultimate. Chained into Timbers coming out on top of him. Chained into the Empress Divide. Like, everything got thrown at JackeyLove in that exchange. And then with 369 being so far ahead, so tanky, he's able to absorb all this damage from Rookie, separating and leaving QingTian with the backline of JDG, who have more than enough damage to take down this Sion. So close, but sadly not able to do it. But JackeyLove a little too far forward with the culling, trying to play on that knife's edge with Lucian, like we've highlighted so many times you have to, and it just set up for the Nautilus ult to come out and really just lead to the downfall of Top Esports in that fight.
Yeah. But these fights are so exceptionally close, and it's like you say, that tiny mistake from JackeyLove leading to a 5 win for JDG, leading to them getting a second Drake as well.
Yeah, but Top Esports still up in gold. Like, it is really just insane how much it's coming down to. Even looking at items, pretty even, like 2.5 coming out for both AD carries. JackeyLove, you know, paying a little bit more of a premium for those mid lane items, also being even. We're actually just even in terms of items across the board.
Yeah. So I feel like there's a conversation of potentially scaling that maybe we need to talk about, where neither of these compositions, I would say, are necessarily scaling compositions, right? Like Lucian and Lethality Varus are not known for their insane late games. But with a Varus there, with an Azir there, and with a Sion there on the side of Top Esports, perhaps in the very late stages, they have an advantage.
It does feel like they should be able to do a little bit more in terms of a front to back. JDG, it isn't going to come down to that, right? It's going to be about, like, profiles, to where JDG are way more heavily indexed into burst. We saw in the last fight, you have so much burst, so much CC, you can take out one member instantly. So maybe you will be looking more for picks, or you have to be the one starting off the fight. For TES, it is going to be about the DPS that Rookie can put out. So fights happening right in front of you, being able to prevent the engages with Mark or Rookie's ultimate are going to be key.
And I love how this entire game, we came in saying Knight versus Rookie, Knight versus Rookie. There has not been a single moment where it's been 1v1. This has been a team game through and through. Every single player on both squads getting in the midst of this absolute scrap. And I'm loving every second. We were hyped up coming into this series. It's Top Esports JDG, and it is living up to the hype.
Absolutely delivering. Again, the amount of rivalry between these two teams, the organizations, the players themselves. Former friends, former teammates, just historic rivalries like Knight and Rookie, just for how good and how insane they've been over the years. We've said have met 40 times in the league, and it's 23 in favor of Rookie, 17 in favor of Knight.
Yeah, but so close between them.
Yeah.
And hey, a 2-0 today could basically even that matchup up if Knight was able to win them both. Let's take a look at the gold though. It's about 1,000 in favor of Rookie. Even between the AD carries, there's a sizable lead in that top side though for 369.
Yeah, but it's kind of made up for in jungle and support, which is where Top Esports were kind of outdoing. So that's why the gold is kind of so close, right?
Oh.
Just being matched in different areas. Now we see both teams competing for vision for Baron. Top Esports doing a nice job of controlling mid, but they can control mid because JDG had already opted into getting push insides. You can see Knight down there now. 369 had already pushed out top wave. And they just want to bait this once again.
Tian going to start it off. Rookie DPSing from over the wall here. Top Esports fully grouped. Knight has that teleport from the bottom side. But Top Esports will back away, not going to overforce the issue. I mean, they realize everyone's here.
Top Esports have two like options. You either just commit to forcing this play, or you go and you have to answer your side waves to get those back in order, but JDG might not even give them an option.
Knight TP'd into the bottom river here to be around for the potential mid lane play. As QingTian tries to force that wave in, will be able to walk away with his life. Complete vision control of the Baron area for Top Esports, but JDG have the inside track on that mid lane, so they could just threaten that instead.
They're going to do that. Again, I kind of like how JDG been playing this. You have control of sides, so look at those minion waves. Push out mid as well. TS are giving so much up if they can't actually turn this into a fight or Baron.
Fight might have been found though, as Kanavi comes in. It's going to be the Nautilus used onto JackeyLove. There's Knight diving onto the backside.
Oh,
JackeyLove assassinated a range, and Rookie has to flash over the wall as well. Knight surviving, and Top Esports picked apart by JT Gaming. Absolutely flawless fight.
That was so insane to see the coordination coming out from JDG. They have a wave in mid. They're going to look to push this one down. I don't think this should turn into an end, but at least open up an inhibitor turret. Maybe they can pivot back to a Baron.
And man, you know, 9369, they've got plenty of synergy that they built up while they were on Top Esports, and now they use that synergy against Top Esports.
Do they really go for this? They have 8 seconds until JackeyLove's up.
They might be able to do it fast enough. Tian trying to buy time, repels into the back line just to distract, but everyone's ignoring him. Ignore the spider and it can't hurt you. Onto the Nexus they go. JDG are going to end the game. JackeyLove doing his damnedest, but it ain't enough. 10 to 10. And JDG put their foot down.
That stun from Knight into the barrel from 369. That was gorgeous. Like, my goodness, TES, we said it. Just the way they were playing that situation leading up, you pushed out your sides. You didn't care about mid. Like, it now puts you in a position where you either have to force a Baron right away, or you have to go answer your sides. They do neither. It gives time for JDG to push out mid as well, and it just led to everything being in favor. That whole like setup was just in favor of JDG, and the engage was just like the cherry on top.
I mean, it was magnificent.
It was
absolutely magnificent. Missing goes for his ultimate first. JackeyLove survives that, and then gets this feeling of safety because he survived the Nautilus ult, and then boom, nice there, 369 is there. And Rookie has to flash out of the fight as well. Like, Rookie almost died too, so then at that point, the fight was already over. But it's not even the fact that they won the fight, right? It's the fact that JDG then just flicked the switch and end the game immediately. There are not many teams in the world that have that much killer instinct to know that they could just end the game right there.
I mean, right, like, had death timers been even like 3 seconds shorter on like across the board, like Lucian up 3 seconds, Nami up, that game probably could have gone on. So the decisiveness coming out from them, but I mean, banger game coming out from both sides. We saw strengths from both. I think with the pressure in sides, it did set JDG up for being able to better utilize like their macro play and how they were doing that, to where I think for TES, a little bit, I think, too aggro on things like the Barons. Like we highlighted, you have the Azir, you have the Sion, you do have tools to be able to fight later on, but it seemed like they felt so pressured, maybe because of things like the Elise, which you're going to find very hard to like find value later on, and the Lucian as well. I mean, being able to get in range. We saw JackeyLove, like, what is in range for JackeyLove in that game? He even had rapid fire cannon everything, and there was no way you can even get within like a screen of the composition that JDG have brought forward.
Every time he got close, Missing was there with the Nautilus. You'd have Knight's ultimates, 369's ultimates, and even if all that fails, you've still got Ruler's ultimate. Like, there is just no way to play these fights. To be honest, I'm a little surprised that we didn't get a QSS. I suppose there's Mikhail's, though, on Mark.
Yeah, it felt like a very tough game to play for JackeyLove, and Again, overall, I think this is a well-played game for both sides. This was neck and neck. This is not a game you look at and you're like, oh my God, Top East, what are you doing? No, this is close. Came down to like some of the finer details, and at least in game one, JDG's finer details were better.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I will say, Elise versus Lee Sin, give me more of that. Like, that's the kind of League of Legends. Forget Sejuani, forget Maokai.
I'm done.
Get them out of my games. Elise versus Lee Sin every single game, please, because that early game was so much fun.
We've seen the light.
So back and forth.
It was. And again, we had kills going over to the side of TS, but CS leads going over the side of JDG, and it was really just so back and forth. And I'm just excited to see what differences we have coming into game two. And yeah. Oh.
Well, we'll have to see.
Game two.
We'll have to wait and see. We're going to jump into a break, and we'll find out if Top Esports can get back in this series. I talked about ADG results. Apparently, they didn't prophesize anything because JDG start off strong. It's 1-0, and we'll see what Top